Hare Krishna Reiki Academy Healing Day. I just wanted to explain to you like a little bit about the program today. So healing days are to heal yourself. It's for self-healing. Dedicating time for yourself. Just leave everything out of the door. Whoever told you you are this or you are that, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a spouse, all of that. Just leave this aside. Explore who you truly are. Each healing day we have different teachers and different guests. So far we had psychologists, naturopaths, life coaches this theme of happiness from many different perspectives. So each time we learn a formula for happiness, even though there is no such a thing as formula for happiness, we learn a different perspective to happiness. So if you're a first time here, bathrooms are down the hall, and there are also bathrooms near the elevators. Program for today is happiness from Bhagavad Gita perspective, and we are very, very happy to introduce you to a master from Krishna temple here in Montreal. Krishna, as you know, was one of the guardians. So the teachings have the same source as the Reiki Grandmaster had. The problem is a little bit of teachings on Bhagavad Gita about happiness. You can ask questions. And we'll have an energy transfer from an Italian master who will connect with us on Skype. He's now in Bulgaria, so it's international event. So he'll transfer to everyone energy. Think about what for you want energy today, so you can tell later to the master from Nepal. Then we'll have a break because Rosa, who is going to bring us those delicious cakes and vegetable food. We can take a look at that in the other room. And after that, we'll do healing. A lot of healing. If you're a Reiki master or a grandmaster, there can be an energy exchange. If you're a first time here, you can receive an energy from Reiki master or grandmaster for a specific purpose. This is all included, except for food that you need to get to. Dancing, but nobody was dancing.
So, the Bhagavad Gita, and everyone heard of the Bhagavad Gita before? Yep. Yes, okay, do it. Yeah. It's the science of self-realization. What is the self? Dr. Rani is going to read us. I picked a shloka, and Mrs. Breda, she told me that we should say something on the topic of happiness. So Krishna actually, he very nicely explains about happiness in the Bhagavad Gita. We're going to read a shloka from the Bhagavad Gita, and then we're going to have a discussion on the shloka. What is Krishna's advice on how to achieve real happiness.
Asti buddhirakyuhatyasya nachukyasya bhavana nachabhatas adir ashatasya kutashrukatham. One who is not in transcendental consciousness can have neither a controlled mind or steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Purport of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penances, and that He is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, that He is the real friend of all living entities, then only can one have real peace. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. The servants is due to want of an unlimited goal. And when one is certain that Krishna, ultimate goal. And when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, provider and friend of all, of everyone and everything, then one can with a steady mind bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace. However much one may make a show of peace and spiritual investment in life, Krishna consciousness is the self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna.
So, Krishna says, Nasti buddhir ayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na chabhavita shantir asantasya kuta sukam. One who is not entranced into consciousness can have neither a controlled mind nor steady intelligence, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? You see. So, yes?
I was wondering if you would introduce yourself and how did you become a Krishna monk? Tell to everybody so they could relate to you.
Okay, I read this Bhagavad Gita. That's how I came to Krishna consciousness. So, the secret to happiness is peace. Unless we're peaceful, how can we be happy? Right? Everyone wants to be happy, but they're not peaceful. Why we're not peaceful? Because we're not in transcendental consciousness. What is transcendental consciousness? Transcendental means beyond the senses. Beyond the senses. Our senses, we have 5 senses. We have seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching. And then there's the mind, which controls all the other senses. If the senses are not controlled, we're constantly being disturbed. Right? You try to enjoy something, or you're listening or reading a book, but the senses are distracting you. You see something, and the eyes are distracting you. You hear something, the ears are, you smell some nice aroma. You're distracted from whatever you're focusing on. Right? So the first teaching of yoga, the Bhagavad Gita actually, this is the real yoga. Yoga, the teachings of yoga are actually derived from the Vedic literatures. So the first teaching of yoga is that we should learn how to control our senses. In the modern world, yoga is understood to be a physical exercise. Right? You go to a gym and you practice some asanas and so on and so on in order to be controlled by the senses even more. Right? I want a better sex life, I want better eating, better sleeping, and so on. So I practice some yoga so I can have better sense gratification. But that is not the actual purpose of yoga. The actual purpose of yoga is to become free from the dictation of the senses. Right? Controlling senses is natural. It is not an artificial imposition on the mind. It is natural, and we do it every day. Right? For some higher enjoyment, you control your senses, just like you go to your job. Right? We all want to sleep in the morning. We want to have a good time, relax. But we perform some austerity. We wake up, we go to the bathroom. It's very uncomfortable in order to go to our work, in order to get money, right? So we can enjoy some higher pleasure, right? So it's natural. We're going on controlling our senses naturally in our life. You're walking down the mall. You see some nice eatable. If you don't have the money to purchase that particular foodstuff, you're not going to taste it just because your senses are pushing you. Like, oh, I'd like to taste this nice cookie or nice fruit or something. If you have no money, then you control your senses, and you're not going to indulge in that. So this is natural. This is actually a human being, platform of a human being. An animal cannot control his senses. So a person who cannot control his senses, he's not better than an animal. Okay? So the senses, if we control the senses, then the mind automatically becomes peaceful. This is the secret. If the mind is agitated all the time, you cannot perceive reality. We cannot perceive the reality. We're always in the past, lamenting, oh, I could have enjoyed my senses in such a way. Or we're in the future. Hankering, I want this, I want that, I want that. And this neighbor, he has that, I want that too. Always in the past or in the future. Never in the now. Right? So if we're not in the now, how can we enjoy it? Right? We're enjoying something, but we're not there. So this is foolishness. Right? So we want to control the senses so our mind becomes peaceful. What we have just performed, this is called the Maha Mantra or the mantra meditation. Does anyone know what mantra means? Mantra? Have you heard of the word mantra? Yeah.
We have practiced some.
Yes.
But correct.
We have mantra evening, kirtan evening.
Okay, all right. But do you know what mantra means?
Well, the special meaning, no. I'm waiting for you to tell me.
Okay, well that's important. It's important to know the meaning of what we do. So mantra actually can be divided into two. Man means the mind, tra means to free. Free your mind. Free your mind. This Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is not an ordinary mantra, not a manufactured mantra. This mantra is passed down since time immemorial. This is called Maha Mantra, the greatest mantra. In the Brihad Naradiya Purana, one of the Vedic literatures, it is recommended that in this particular age is predicted in the Vedas as the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Everybody is quarreling and everyone is a hypocrite. Right? So there's only one way how to come to self-realization, and it is through chanting of the names of God. If you're biased against the Krishna name, then you can chant the name of God in your particular tradition. It is not a sectarian instruction. So, but this Maha Mantra actually is very powerful, because by chanting this Maha Mantra, so many people became free from the indulgence, unnecessary necessities, as we call it, artificial pleasures, things which we don't need for our body, nor for our mind, nor for our soul. So many artificial necessities. These things are covering our consciousness. And that's why we can't really breathe. All the pleasure, like Mrs. Brenna, she said in the beginning, that actually we're not disconnected from the whole, from Krishna. We're not disconnected. We have simply forgotten. That is the problem. And why? Because our consciousness is covered by all these artificial necessities. Right? So by this chanting of the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna Mantra, so many young people, our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, he came in 1965 to America, and within a short span of 12 years, he converted thousands and thousands of the young hippies into pure devotees of Krishna. So how is it possible? By this chanting of the Maha Mantra. What is the secret of this Maha Mantra? You can chant this Hare Krishna Mantra on and on and on and on and on and on, every day, just like me and Ronnie. We chant this in the morning. We wake up for our prayer in the morning, at 4 in the morning. We chant for 2 hours on our prayer beads. Then we have a nice kirtan with a drum and cymbal with our friends. Then we go on the street and we chant again, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Then we go back to the temple. We cook some nice milk for Krishna, and we have nice bhajans in the evening. Again, the same Maha Mantra. The whole day we're living with Krishna. How is it possible? Because this Maha Mantra is transcendental. It's beyond the comprehension of our material senses. Right? It is eternal. In the absolute platform, the name and the substance are one. So if I say, Mrs. Brenna, Mrs. Brenna, Mrs. Brenna is not present in the vibration of her name. She's over there. So this is the world of relativity. Right? Relativity. Something depends on something else. Like people say that, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So they say, oh, it depends. Everything depends on something else. But this Maha Mantra doesn't depend on anything. It's absolute. So when we chant Krishna, the Supreme Godhead, is present within the name. And that is the secret. Who could be more pure than Krishna, the Supreme Absolute? Who can be more pure? So if you constantly associate with the Supreme Pure, you don't have to join any religion, you don't have to join any church, you don't have to pay any fee. You simply chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, like that. And you're in the presence of Krishna. And by that association, just like you put an iron rod in a fire, by gradual heating, the iron rod becomes fiery. It changes its constitution. Similarly, if we associate with the spiritual vibration, our consciousness becomes spiritualized, or as we say, Krishnized. And everything can be nicely spiritualized. Right? So it is not difficult. What is interesting here in this purport, we actually before we understand Krishna, we should understand what is the self. Who are we? We're actually small parts and parcels of Krishna. Parts and parcels. If we understand the parts and parcels, then we can understand the whole. Just like if you cooking rice, and you taste one grain, you take one grain of rice, it's cooked, then you know that the whole pot is finished. Similarly, we're just like tiny little parts and parcels of Krishna. When you understand that small, tiny part and parcel, then you understand about the whole. So, what is the similarity? We're actually, the soul, according to the Vedas, is Sat Chit Ananda. It is eternal, it is full of knowledge, and it is full of blissfulness, full of happiness. It's already there. Right? When you chant Hare Krishna, that natural happiness is coming out. So, now, how do we prove it scientifically? Krishna says, in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, he gives a very nice argument. He says, Dehinosmin yatadehi komanam yuvanam jara tata vihantara praptir dhiras tatra namuhyati. He says that as you had a body of a child before, then a teenager, then a grown-up man, similarly you will have a body of an old man. But even though you change the body so many times, you're still the same. You're still the same consciousness. That consciousness has not gone anywhere. The small child's body is gone, finished. All the material elements which formed the child's body, they're gone. Right? Constantly we're recycling. When we eat, when we go to the toilet, the body is changed. Right? But upon which it is changed, upon what it is changed, upon the Atma, the self. Right? So it is not very difficult to understand. The scientists, they're challenging, where's the proof that there is the soul? What is the proof? Well, we can't prove it by any scientific experiment and so on and so on. But it is a fact by perception. It is our spiritual master, he says, it is a fact by perception. The fact that we're conscious means that we're eternal. And we are perceiving that which is temporary. If I am also temporary, if the self is also changing, how can I perceive that which is changing? If I'm changing along with that which is changing, then how can I see the difference? Right? So I must be eternal. I must be constant. And that's why we can observe, yes, in the past I was a small child. I was a teenager. Now I'm a grown-up body. Right? I can perceive it. It's not a faith. It's a fact. I can perceive it. It's a fact. So we're not this body. See, this is the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita. We're not this body. We're not man, woman, ugly, beautiful, tall, small, black, white, fat, ugly, this, that. You know, this is just like a dress. Krishna says that his body is just like a dress. This morning you took some dress. Tomorrow you're going to take another dress. But you're not finished. Similarly, we take one body, and then when this body is finished, we take another body. But we're not affected. See? Just like in this very lifetime, it is going on. We're changing from the childhood body to a youthful body to a grown-up body. Right? We can perceive it. But we're not finished. Similarly, after this old body is finished, then we'll take another body. Right? So, now what is the difference? Krishna is also eternal, just like we're eternal. And Krishna is also full of blissfulness. Right? When you see a picture of Krishna, he's always in a blissful mood, you know, with the flute, with his associates, always smiling, always happy. This is the nature of the spiritual world. It is full of blissfulness. We're hankering after blissfulness. People say that everything is relative. Everything is relative. But that's not true. That's not true. We are actually hankering after happiness. No one wants distress, unless the stress makes him happy, right? But ultimately he wants happiness. We want eternity. No one wants to die. Why? If everything is relative, why you don't want to die? People say, no, I don't have a problem with death. I'm peaceful with that. Okay, I'm going to shoot you now. Are you going to agree? No. The one's going to say, no. I'm going to call police. Right? And we all want knowledge. We all want knowledge. No one wants to remain foolish. Right? That's what we read about the Gita. That's what we come here today. Right? We want to learn new things. Even a person who doesn't read books, a person who's not interested in spiritual subject matters, Reiki subject matters, he still reads the newspaper, right? And when you go out in the morning in metro, everyone's reading the newspaper. Obama, this and that. See, the eternal quest for knowledge. So these are the Sat Chit Ananda, the three how should I say, the elements of the soul, the three definitions, the three characteristics of the soul in the body. It is not a belief. You can perceive it. So Krishna is also Sat, he's also eternal, he's also full of knowledge, and he's also full of blissfulness. But the difference is that Krishna is Bhuktaram Yagatapasam, Sarvaloke Maheshwaram, Surnam Sarvabhutanam, Jnanam Shantim Rachati. Now I'm going to connect it to the how to achieve peacefulness. This is a peaceful formula. Our spiritual master has given us the peace formula. People are after peace. Everyone wants peace. No one wants war. Right? We want to all work together. No arguments, no conflicts. We all want to feel like part of the one whole. That is very nice. But now, practically, how do we achieve this? So Krishna says, Bhuktaram Yagatapasam. I am the supreme enjoyer of all your sacrifices. Just how you go to work in the morning, this is a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. We don't want to do it, but we sacrifice it for the higher purpose, for the salary. So Krishna says, I am the enjoyer of the fruits of your action. If you make Krishna the enjoyer of your work, then you are not going to be implicated in what is called hankering or lamenting. Just like a cashier in a bank. He's counting millions and millions of dollars, but he's not the possessor. He's not enjoying the money. The possessor is the owner of the bank. So if there's a theft, there are people who come with their machine guns and say, give me the money. Yes, it is unfortunate that the money is stolen, but the cashier, he's not affected. And similarly, if there's a gain, the boss of the bank, he earns so much money, then yes, it's very nice, but again, he's not affected. Similarly, if we make Krishna the enjoyer of our karma, of our work, then we're not going to be implicated in what is called the cycle of hankering and lamenting, or enjoying and rejecting, renunciation. This is the duality. What keeps us in duality? What keeps the mind oscillating between one and the other? This sense of I am the enjoyer, the sense of false ego or ahankara. Ego means that, no, not Krishna. I am the enjoyer. Whatever I work, I deserve to get the result. I deserve to enjoy. But in reality, what is going on is that I'm not the enjoyer of anything. Right? My senses are the enjoyers. Like my tongue, like I earn salary, I buy food, and then my tongue eats everything. Right? My eyes are enjoying, my ears, my body, but I'm not this body. So why am I working so hard when the body takes everything? See, this is not very intelligent. And this is the root cause of what is called samsara. Have anyone of you heard of samsara? Can you give a definition?
Like not a painful thing, but something kind of wrong, like an illusion.
Evolution?
Illusion.
Illusion, yes, in one sense. But samsara means the cycle of birth and death. Our illusion is that I'm this body. And so far we remain in that illusion. So far we think that I'm American, I'm Canadian, man, woman, this and that. we have to take another body. See, we are developing different material desires on account of this body illusion. I want this, I want that, and constantly the mind is giving ideas, giving desires. So it creates so many desires that at the time of death, one life is not sufficient. Right? Karma is also, now I can connect it to healing. Karma is also compared to a disease. We contaminate a certain disease. It doesn't manifest right away. It takes some time for the disease to manifest. Similarly, karma, it doesn't take just like that. It takes some time to fructify. They're compared to seeds or bijas, desire. They reside in the heart and they fructify in due course. Right? So as long as we think that I'm the enjoyer of my work, then I have to be stuck in this different bodily occasion. This body is like a imprisonment. You know, we don't want to be limited to a body. We want to go out and be free in the spirit. So long I think I'm the enjoyer, I have to take another body. And in the body, now, my body doesn't belong to me. I was injected into the womb of my mom, but the body, the material elements which constitute the body, they're supplied to me. And when I leave this body, when I die, I cannot take my body with me. Right? So I'm just like renting an apartment. If I rent my apartment, I'm not the owner of the apartment. I can utilize the apartment, I can take care of it. If I destroy it, of course, you know, the proprietor is not going to be very happy, but I'm never the owner. Similarly, I'm never the owner of my body. I've been put into this body. I didn't choose. Did I choose? Oh, I want this body, I want that, I want to be born as a woman, as a man, as a nice, beautiful. No. We're being forced to accept a particular body. And similarly, we'll be forced to leave that body at the end. So I'm not the possessor. Krishna is the possessor of the body. Sarvaloke Maheshwaram. He's not just the possessor of my body, but all the bodies. The planets, universes, he's the supreme proprietor. So if we understand that Krishna is the supreme proprietor of this body, then the body should be utilized for Krishna. Just like if I'm the owner of this kurta, then the kurta should be used for my purpose. Right? This shirt, it should be used for me. If someone else is using my kurta, well, it's not really my kurta. You know, it's missing the purpose. So similarly, this body should be used for Krishna. And in that way, I'm not going to be stuck with the greed. The thing I want so much, I want this, I want that, But if I understand that Krishna is the proprietor of everything, I will not be greedy. I will not be greedy. And there's not going to be any fight over properties. Why there's war? Because people are fighting over Krishna's property. Right? Canada wasn't called Canada before, but it was Krishna's property. But at one point, people came and they said, okay, it's ours. But they stole it from Krishna. Right? It must belong to someone. Everything, whatever we see here, and as a proprietor. So why this whole manifestation doesn't have a proprietor? That doesn't make sense. Right? And the last one is that Krishna is the Surnam Sakabhutana. He's the supreme friend for everyone. Right now, our problem is that we try to be the supreme friend for everyone. But we can't. We cannot. We want to be friends to everyone. Everyone. Man, woman, ugly, beautiful, black, white, everyone. We want to be the best. But actually, the more we try to be friend of everyone, we hate it by everyone. And why? Because we're limited. I cannot know what is going on in your body. I don't know about the pains and pleasures of your body. And you don't know about the pains and pleasures of my body. Because my consciousness is minute. It's limited. Okay? So, Krishna's consciousness is unlimited. He is the Supreme Personality, Bhagavan, residing in the spiritual world. But at the same time, don't think that he is limited. That body, Krishna's body, is not like our body. It's a spiritual body. What does it mean? That he can expand himself unlimitedly, simultaneously, while Krishna is enjoying his transcendental pastimes in the spiritual world. He expands himself unlimitedly into all the different universes in the form of Paramatma, or the Super Soul. The Super Soul resides in every living entity's heart, and we might call it the conscience, or the Christians they say the Holy Spirit, right? You hear sometimes inner voices telling you, don't go there. Oh, I don't want to go. No, don't go there. Oh, here, I'm not going to go there. Or go there, like that. You hear it. There's a voice, intuition, right? So the ancient sages of India, they have revealed that it is the super soul, Paramatma, one of Krishna's features. So he knows about the pains and pleasures of not just my body, but all the different bodies in the universe, all the little tiny atoms. He is there. So just imagine what is Krishna's consciousness. He is conscious of every single cell in the universe, simultaneously. Simultaneously. So he can understand. He can understand your problems, your suffering. I can understand. I can relate. To a certain extent, I can relate to it. Well, it happened to me. Something similar happened to me before, so I can kind of give you advice, but I cannot feel what you feel. I will never feel what you feel. Only Krishna can feel what you feel. You see. So if we understand that Krishna is the supreme friend for everyone, then there's no more struggle. Everyone is trying to compete. This false ego that I am Krishna, I am God, makes us compete with one another. And that's
Do
the
you
root.
want to take the questions? Because
Sure, no problem.
Be the master.
Sure.
Do you want to take questions?
Yes, please. Any questions?
So Krishna, he explained on the beginning, but maybe it was missed. Don't think that Krishna is just Krishna. Krishna is God in any religion. Krishna is creator in any religion, or Krishna is the source of everything.
Yes.
So, because it was very quickly said, maybe it wasn't.
And Krishna, actually, the word Krishna, maybe we can explain,
Yeah.
means all attractive. When you translate the word Krishna, it means all attractive. So if anyone has any sort of conception of God, right, we utilize our brain. We have done some research work. We don't just blindly accept some statement. We all have our relationship with God, whether you like it or not. We know a little bit something. For example, we know that God must be unlimited. If God is not unlimited, He's not God. He's just another, it's just another dogma. God becomes for, like that lady yourself, she said that religion means for a certain group. That's a general understanding of religion. It is for a certain group. So that is not God. God is just like the sun, is for everyone. So God must be all attractive, must be Krishna. No, we're not discussing some sectarian religion. It must be all attractive.
You're talking about relationship with the Creator.
Yeah.
So we are prisoners in our body, that's one, and we're also working for Krishna.
If we like.
If we're part of it, and
Because-
small part, but we are doing a job.
Because we have free will, we can choose not to work for Krishna. We have freedom. See, Krishna never interferes with our free will. Why would He do that? Why would He do that? Just like He is free. He's free. Consciousness, spirit, means freedom. The body is limitation. It's because the spirit soul is present in the body has individuality, tastes, and so on and so on. So similarly in the higher concept, Krishna, He is individual. And because we have free will, we can choose not to utilize our body for Krishna. And that is why we're here in this material. That is why we have this material body. The material body is a facility so we can have an illusion of enjoyment, which is Krishna free. Yes.
But we're not free. I mean, we
Not
have
at
to
all.
work according to certain rules. That's what I mean.
Yes. We're not free We're not free from death, birth, old age, and disease. These four things make all our so-called happiness ultimately fruitless.
Happiness is a choice no matter what. Even if you're on your dying bed, it's a choice to be happy. You don't just are happy, you just choose to be happy.
Yes, we have to choose.
And how do you, we were put in this body with certain sensual pleasures, and I mean, we have it available to us. Why is it wrong to enjoy these things and at the same time honor a higher being? You could do both. You could be a good person, you do good, and enjoy yourself. What's wrong with that?
Yes, what is good person?
But you help people, you don't harm anything.
Yes, but you have to know how to help. If you help someone, let's say someone has a disease, and he is suffering, he cannot eat solid food. If you give him solid food, he's going to die. There's a disease like that. If you give him solid food, he's going to die. So he's, of course, he's very much hankering after solid food in that state. And he's like, oh, I wish I could have solid food. So you say, oh, I'm going to help this person. I'm going to give him solid food. He's going to die. So we need knowledge. We need knowledge.
I agree.
Knowledge is necessary.
Knowledge is power, absolutely. Yes. But I mean, obviously, I'm not a doctor. So if the person is obviously ill, I'm not going to do something that I think, oh, just because he wants it. I mean, I'll find out. But it's just on an individual basis. You don't want to hurt anybody. You want to go your path. You want to evolve. You want to fulfill your purpose in life.
Yes. So our disease, when I come back to the example of a diseased person, our disease is that we think we're this body. And because we think we're this body, we think that the bodily pleasure is the real pleasure. But that is not our pleasure. The soul actually never really enjoys the sensual pleasures. That is illusion. It is just like you have a tongue and you try to taste food, but the tongue is covered by a cloth. Similarly, why we have the sensual pleasures? Because we're the soul. Actually, without the soul, the body has no sensual pleasures. It's the soul. Right? It's like your eyes, they don't see. It's the soul that sees. Because the same eye might be there, but if a person is dead, the same eye is there, but the eye doesn't see. The same tongue doesn't taste. Like that. It's not the senses, it's the soul. But the problem is that the soul is covered by the material body. So we have to uncover.
But the impression I get is that it's wrong to enjoy these things.
Definitely it's wrong.
Why is it wrong?
Because it's suffering. If I give you a cloth on your tongue, if I give you a cloth on your tongue, and I give you nice food, are you going to enjoy that food?
No, but I do enjoy the food.
Well, that is foolishness. That is illusion.
I love the food.
That is illusion.
Well,
If you have a cloth on your tongue, and you say, oh, very nice, very tasty food, isn't that foolishness?
So there's a polarity, so it's what it's called. There's polarity. There's a good side and a bad side, and everything. According to me.
Yes, so the good side is that I remove the cloth from my tongue. And the bad side is that I keep the cloth on my tongue. So this Krishna consciousness is the real sensual pleasure, the real, which doesn't end. You know, we're not satisfied with temporary pleasures. And we're actually, me and Ronnie, we're great sense gratifiers. We're great sense gratifiers.
Because you're a human being. Because you're a human being.
No, because we want pleasure. But we're not satisfied with pleasure which ends. We want eternal pleasure. So if you take it that you want to enjoy simultaneously, yes, you praise the Supreme Being, but you want to enjoy simultaneously, so this is what you come to. You come to, if you're really serious about enjoying, then why not enjoy eternally? It's just common sense. Why be satisfied with temporary pleasure?
Because you can do both.
No, you can't. If you have temporary pleasure, you can't enjoy it.
But I must agree with Vicky. I must agree with Vicky that you can enjoy all of your senses and all of your pleasures and at the same time grow spiritually. And actually, what I feel is when we suppress all the pleasures, then they become like very, very strong.
No, I'm not saying suppress. I'm saying that quite the opposite. The material pleasure is suppressing the eternal pleasure. Because it's a covering. If I put a cloth on your tongue, then I'm going to suppress the natural pleasure, right? Yes, please.
But don't all your senses in a way contribute to your soul evolution?
Your senses.
Yes. Like the thing.
What do you mean by soul evolution?
That you would, your soul would evolve? more than what it is?
No, the soul cannot evolve. The soul is eternal.
Escape from duality, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe escape from duality, escape from the.
Yeah, but how? How? If I ask you how?
I'm just saying that if I think that when I was born, I had a certain knowledge, and I like to think that when I'm going to die, my passage here in this period of time will have contributed to my growth.
Mm-hmm.
My soul growth, yes.
See, but you need knowledge. If you, let's say you waste your whole life, that's not necessarily so. If you waste the life, then there's no growth. There might be even degradation. See, there's a free will. You can, knowledge means we all have faith. We all have certain conviction. Sorry? Oh, sorry. We all have some sort of conviction. Right? We all have some kind of belief. Even an atheist, he believes that there is no God. Right? We all believe. It's not a question, well, you have belief, and I don't have. I'm very scientific. No, your whole science is based on belief, right? Because you believe the scientist in the school who tells you this, just like that, just like that. You're reading books. You know, our whole life is based on belief. But what makes the difference, what makes it knowledge, is that we pick the belief which makes sense, and that is knowledge. That is intelligence. So we have to, the senses. That's what we have right now. No, we can't just erase the senses. Actually, now I can actually say.
I'll just have to apologize because we have it's noon. We have now.
All right, maybe we can discuss after.
We can discuss, definitely we can discuss, continue discussion after, and now we'll connect with Satya. Satya is the Nepali master.
Oh, there he is in the background.
Why is it not